All right, welcome everyone. We are at 3 o'clock here on the East Coast, so I will go ahead and kick off this week's webinar. Uh, the questions I had this week were in parallel with somebody who was reluctant to join the group, saying that they were hoping for uh, more leads and that they would spend time if it resulted in business, more business as opposed to necessarily learning how to run a business or build foundations of a business that would in turn lead to more clients. But I took it with how can we attract more people that we can get in front of for the purpose of listing property and selling that property or signing buyers. So what we're doing today is we're going to do a closer look at Alex Hormozi's core four. There's four ways to outreach or four ways to market. It's kind of segregated in the middle or separated between people you know, people you don't yet know, one-to-one or private communications, and one-to-many and public communications. So the four buckets that falls into: warm outreach, cold outreach, posting content, and running paid ads. So we're going to start obviously with the one-to-one and warm and go through the four, give some examples of each, things that we can put into place today, things that we can do to have these things build upon each other, because really they're not exclusive of each other. They can work together, and if done so properly, will really help to get the marketing machine going, get you in front of more warm leads. One thing I want to highlight here, that as somebody who sells real estate, there are three ways to increase revenue. There's a higher list price, higher purchase price for buyers, so you can work at a higher price point. You can have the same clients you have multiple sales. So think of investors, think of people who might be buying second, third properties. So that might go hand in hand with a different price point. And then third, there might be higher frequency of sales. So they might not be buying multiple properties, but you might take more listings, sell more property. So if you look at that list, you might be saying, all of those seem difficult. So yes, they might be, but is there a way to focus on one or another that hand in hand with outreach might make sense? So that might be a different list price, or that might be bringing in more listings, or the type of buyer seller that you have who are buying and selling more property. So we're going to talk generic examples today. If you're looking to craft messages in each one of these buckets that is specific for your business, specific to your core clients, feel free to message me, and I'm happy to walk through it with you, brainstorm it, and come to some messaging, come to some ideas as how you can do this effectively. So when we talk about mastering the four marketing channels, marketing is fairly simple when you break it down, but it is not easy. So the things we're going to talk about are not hard to do, but sometimes it might make you feel uncomfortable when we talk about cold outreach. It might not be difficult in terms of like math equation difficult, but it might be difficult to get in front of the right audience at the right times, leading to conversations that hopefully convert. So, what if I told you that mastering just these four channels could double your leads, even in tough market like this, even in a changing, shifting market? So today we're going to break it down so you can walk away with actionable tactics right away to drive business through your marketing. If you've struggled with how to get your message to the right people, you're not alone. This is something I've struggled with in real estate, in my consulting business, in kind of business in general. It's a something you have to test. You have to understand where your energy, your time, and your money are going, and what the return on those things are, and constantly improve them over time. Something that worked last week, last month, last year is not guaranteed to work going forward. So, understanding what works, why, and being able to scale it or change it when necessary. Um, so we're talking about Alex's four main buckets here. We're going to start with warm outreach, one-to-one. These are the people that you know. Reaching out privately to people who already know you, they already trust you. We all have a phone. Most of us have a CRM. We, including myself here, don't do a good job of staying in contact with those people. So this is where everyone must start. This is for today. coming up with a process or system to connect with everyone in your phone, everyone in your CRM, everyone in your Gmail, your Outlook, whatever you have, getting messaging to everyone. That message is going to be different based on what you're selling, what your expertise is, what your market is, who your core client is. We've all heard it before. Your network is your net worth. But really, how often are we tapping into that warm network? It's not, for lack of a better term, all that sexy to reach out to people you know, but it is something that we, for the most part, as a whole, are undervaluing and underutilizing. So, um, chances are we're not doing enough within people that we already know. So having tried and true systems for reaching those groups, that group. When explaining the follow-up tactics and leveraging your inner circle, frame everything as a solution to a challenge that they're facing. We'll talk a little about referrals later, but are you facing X in this market? Here's how I can help. For example, by setting a weekly goal of 10 week of warm contacts, which is low, you're not only staying top of mind, but you're also laying the groundwork for consistent referrals. Because even if it's somebody who's not ready to buy or sell property today, they may think of you when somebody asks them. They may think of you 6 months, 9 months, 2 years down the line. It's like, oh yeah, this is the person who has sent me emails, whether it's a newsletter type thing or it's personalized. So after after listing, after trying these things, attempting to get new listings, new buyers, think who are the top three people in your network you can reach out to this week. Write their names down right now, and just commit just to those three or three types of individuals you want to reach out to. Again, people will say, "I don't know anybody." You've got a phone. There's numbers in that phone. You got an email. At the very least, there are people who live in your building, live on your street, live in your neighborhood, live in your zip code. There are ways to reach out to people you know within those communities. So start there. Follow up with past clients. That's another easy thing to do. Text, call, email past buyers or sellers, check in on their current situation, and mention current market opportunities. An example of that. Hi, Joe. I hope you're loving your new house, apartment, condo, property we sold. Wanted to share that this fall market has been amazing for sellers, which might not be the case, so you want to tailor that. Let me know if you thought about making a move or have any real estate questions. You want this language to be as true to your messaging and as true to the type of selling that you're doing. So they know it's coming from you. It's not just something that you're sending out to everybody in your phone at once, that it is a true one-to-one message. When we talk about outreach, there's generally four additional buckets that we're going to be talking about. There's live or in person. So the one-to-one, that's over coffee. That can be door knocking. That can be just a regular conversation. There's mail. There's phone calls as well as digital by phone. There's text, email, apps for a lot of this stuff. So think in terms of each, and as you move down that ladder, the rate of success gets higher. If you're talking to somebody one-on-one, the chances of them engaging that conversation are better than sending them a text or sending them a WhatsApp message. So keeping that in mind. It also takes a lot more effort to go talk to somebody in person. It might schedule or it might be awkward. So you want to consider all those things and try all four out. Again, see for your energy, your time, what your best returns are. We talk about leveraging your inner circle as friends, family, colleagues for referrals. This is where that uncomfortable piece might come in. It's like, well, I don't want to talk to my family about this. Um, they might not be the ones buying or selling, so referrals are something you may want to talk to them. I'm looking to help more families like yours. If you know anyone considering buying or selling, I'd love to assist them. Again, craft this language so it's in your image, you're comfortable saying it, you're comfortable typing it, you want it to go to everybody in your phone. So what do you want it to say? You also want to consider, and this is a completely different topic, so I'll just say it now and I'll put it down for a future agenda item. Connect with top referral partners and teach them how to properly refer you. Some of the most influential people that I've met in real estate and in marketing in general, they don't bother to reach out to their end consumer, whether it's business to business or business to consumer. They have very strong relationships with referral partners, and that's who they reach out to. So the real estate example would be, let's say, landscapers in your market. You have a campaign that targets all of the landscaping companies. Well, why landscaping companies? Well, you might find out that when you talk to the person who runs those companies, that they get hired when people are thinking about selling their home, or that they are working for a specific area, an affluent set of homes that you want to get in front of. And that the relationship they have with the owners of these properties is one where they are asked, hey, Mr. Landscaper, I love the work that you've done. We're thinking about selling our property. Can you also do this? That at that point they can say, hey, if you're thinking about selling your home, you need to reach out to Joanne because she's amazing. She knows this neighborhood. She would be the best agent for you. Or, Mr. Landscaper, we would like somebody to come give us some ideas about how we can upgrade our house. So when we're thinking about selling in a year or two, we will have the renovations done, things like that. So the landscaper is one example. There's obviously attorneys. There are lots of other professionals that would, accountants, divorce attorneys to be specific. There's lots of niche areas where you can introduce your services to referral partners. They can properly refer. You can tell them what they should be saying to these end line users, end line buyers and sellers, that they're going to actually pick up the phone and call you when it's time. So actionable takeaways for warm outreach. Create a weekly goal of reaching out to 10 plus. I went low with that. That can be 100, that can be that can be 50, it can be 200 in your warm network. Put time on your calendar. Put it on if it's a to-do list, which I don't love, but an upgraded to-do list, a calendar. Set time each day to do this. There is no better way to market than exhausting your CRM, your phone, people that people that know and trust you. And that might also include getting people into this list. So it might be getting from the next bucket, cold outreach, into the warm, and so forth. So if it's a small bucket, you say, well, I only got 22 people on my phone and I've got 5 people in my CRM. I don't have a CRM, I just keep an Excel contact sheet. Fine, start there. Start with those 27 and build a way to get people from the next bucket, cold, into the warm. The way for cold outreach to happen will be our third topic for today. I'm going to go ahead and skip down now to the one-to-many, the post content. One-to-many, it's a warm audience. So think of that as social content. There's, again, no cost here. So you're posting to people who probably know you. This is a different bucket than the warm outreach. It's a little bit larger, but it's also a group that you can one-on-one outreach to. We didn't talk much about, but who follows you on social, any of the channels. But now you're posting one-to-many. So you're posting content to that large group. You're sharing publicly with those who already follow or trust you. Your social isn't just a platform. Think of it as your storefront, and every post is kind of like an open house. When was the last time your followers saw you as the go-to expert in real estate? That should be the starting point in all of this. If it's been a while, they might be looking elsewhere, because this stat is the one that freaks me out the most about in real estate, is that each consumer, buyer, seller, knows between 9 and 12 real estate professionals. So even if you're doing a good job of staying in front of them, keeping top of mind, there are still 8 to 11 competitors that they know of or that they have in their network that they may make referrals to, or they may refer. So you want to be on the top of that list. Ways to do that, share a client success story, answer common questions, solicit questions, answer them in different formats, text, videos, images, whatever you're comfortable with. Try them all. Again, beta test them, A/B test them, put them out there, see what gets the best results. Don't do one and say, well, I got 2 likes, I'm never doing this again. You have to be consistent. Same with all of these buckets. Consistency is important. Think of one question your audience is asking right now that you could answer in a post this week. So commit to doing that. And you can think of content as not just a one and done. It can be repurposed. There can be long form and short form, multiple short forms that are turned into a longer piece. Get creative with that. I'm not going to go into all of that here, but I'm happy to work with you if you're interested in kind of brainstorming what that process looks like. Just examples, storytelling is very powerful. Highlight success stories again, past clients that might be inspirational to your audience. So if they are in that bucket, how hearing a story of someone similar to them got to the goals they wanted, the solution that you helped them uh, achieve, provide, something like Meet the Thompsons. We listed their home last month. Despite a slow market, they sold 10% above asking. Here's how we did it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to highlight one of the courses that we have in the classroom right now. I'll have a sheet that accompanies this webinar as kind of next steps. It's the course I'm talking about is Present and Sell with Confidence. It's Ken Okazawa. Um, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, but he talks about the Hilda format. This course is in our community, absolutely free. Take it. It's amazing. Ken is great. And what he talks about is Hilda: hook, introduction, lead, deliver, ask. This is a format you can use for all your storytelling, anytime you're doing a presentation, anytime you're in front of a client, anytime you're doing a post. What is your hook? Make an introduction of who you are. This is the lead or what you are offering them. Deliver on what your lead is, and then at the end, have a call to action or an ask. This format is incredible. Take this course in the community, in our academy, and apply Hilda whenever you're looking for a framework for your uh, content as well as your presentations that you're doing. The other thing you can do, educational content. Education is value. It's what people want. Uh, Things like, did you know homes list in the fall sell 15% faster on average? Didn't know that? Message me if you're ready to take advantage of this trend. So takeaways in box two. Commit to posting at least 3 to 5 times this week and every week across all active platforms. If you're only on one, that's okay. Post more often. If you want to try a new platform, great, try it. But remember, consistency, both in terms of when you're posting and how long you're posting, are important here. And focus again on value-driven content. Answer common questions, share stories, and give actionable advice. Even if you don't hear from them for 3 years, I can't even tell you how many times people will tell me, it's like, I've been watching your silly videos for years and I've been doing this stuff. I have no idea, but they've put things into action that have worked, and it builds that trust, and it kind of shows, hey, the things that you talk about actually work. I'm ready to work with you now. I'm ready to move forward. I wasn't before. My circumstances have changed. I've watched your stuff. I've done the lessons that you've put out there, things like that, and now I'm ready to buy or sell. All right, next we're moving into the cold outreach side, the one-to-one cold outreach, privately contacting strangers or new leads. Here's where we're really moving from the uh, not as easy as it sounds to that's going to be kind of difficult. Most agents avoid cold outreach because it's intimidating. But what if it's actually the key to your next listing? Yes, I know it's not comfortable, and certainly not as comfortable as talking to your warm leads. That's why you must start there and increase that bucket. So getting people from your content or from cold into the warm outreach bucket. But it's actually where a lot of the most motivated clients are. With strong scripts, and this should be different for everyone. Some people want to have scripted word by word, scenario by scenario. Others want to have a loose one-page framework. Others, well, I don't recommend it, like to wing it. So know what a script means to you, who you're targeting, and have targeting outreach. You can position yourself as the solution to a problem that they are facing, will likely face, or they might not even know they're facing. You are not just another agent. That's the underlying messaging here. I'll quickly point out that I did a webinar a couple weeks back on the 5 steps to sell any listing. That's a great framework for cold outreach. You are reaching out to a specific target of people, but you don't know them yet, and you have actually something to talk to them about. You have that listing, that you've got this promise that I made to this seller of my listing, that I would not rest until I've spoken to everybody on the street, everybody in this village, everybody in this zip code. That's why I'm calling. It's disarming because you're not necessarily trying to, they think that you're not necessarily selling them anything, so their guard may not be up. And they say, wow, this guy is committed. He's calling everybody in our zip code. And that's a starting point for your conversation. Will it lead to that person buying the property? Probably not, but it will lead to a conversation about real estate, which leads to future buyers and sellers, and perhaps buyers and sellers today. So what's one neighborhood or a list of expired listings that you can think of that you can target this week? Block an hour of your calendar every day and make that happen. So actionable. Do this today. Put an hour in the next 5 business days. We can finish this week out, Monday and Tuesday next week, and then go from there. I know it's a holiday coming up, but get started now. Don't just wait till I'll do this later. That's the main problem with cold outreach. This sucks. I don't want to be on the phone with people who don't like me, so I'm going to put off and do it. Or we go down that spectrum. I don't want to do face to face. I don't want to be on the phone. I will just send mailers, or I will just send them an email. Uh, Again, that's the least percentage of responses. It's very easy to ignore. So think strategically. Try many of these out. So if you're thinking of direct mail, postcards to specific neighborhoods, targeted message might work. Uh, your neighbor at X just sold their home. Could you be next? Contact me for a free evaluation. That's generic, I know, and I don't really love that one, but these are conversation starters. So if that is a direction you go, you probably want to have some sort of follow-up because that direct mail is most likely not going to get people to pick up the phone. But if that mail is on a follow-up of content that you've posted, and then the next bucket, where they're seeing you in different formats, they see you online, they see you in their mailbox, they see you getting text messages they're receiving from you. There's different mediums that say, okay, I've now seen this person 5 or 6 times. They obviously must be good. They're selling homes. They've got content. They're running ads. I'm going to reach out. Or all of those things might turn somebody who was cold into your warm outreach. Now you're texting regularly, that you're having regular phone calls with, that you're part of a networking group with. That warm outreach will lead to conversion. Other cold calling or messaging to try introduce yourself to for sale by owners, expireds. Hi, I'm Jim with XYZ Realty. I noticed your home is no longer listed. I'd love to discuss how we can get it sold quickly, like I did for the Johnsons at this property. So there again, you're credible, you're trying to solve a problem for them, and you have a solution that worked for somebody else. It's very disarming when it's like, well, I don't have to be the first person or the only person to take this risk. If you don't have anybody that you sold a house with before, if this is your first, is there something your brokerage did? Is it something your teammate did? Is there something that you can say that you did? And if the answer is no to all of those things, uh, I have had X amount of experience in real estate, and I'm ready to sell your home at top dollar. You'll have my complete focus as I am guaranteeing, or I will put all of my energy into this one effort. So build a targeted list anywhere from 50 to 250 cold prospects each month and have a strategic outreach plan. Use scripts. Again, you don't want to necessarily go off the cuff. I've come a long way on this. I always thought, yeah, I can, I don't need a script. I don't want to sound boring. Uh, but I have a running dialogue here that I'm running through, or I should say monologue, that I want to make sure the points that are hit because I'll skip ahead. I will forget things. So you want to have notes and not outline for yourself. You want to focus on solving problems and not just making sales. There are coaches, there are consultants in this space who will just say, talk to everybody you know, talk to people you don't know, ask, are you interested in buying or selling? Somebody's going to say yes, and then buy or sell them a home. Let's say that's one person out of 100. That's 99 bad conversations, and they might be interested next week, and you've missed out on it because you've got such a narrow focus. So you want to be a problem solver, and you don't want to put them on their heels immediately saying, whoa, get away from me. These are sales techniques I'm not comfortable with. If that is comfortable to you, or that is something that you've had success with, that is okay. Just tailor it to your voice, your business, and your core clients. Because ideally, you want to attract and work with people that you like to work with. Because all of this that we're talking about today is great, but if you're attracting and converting people that you, for lack of term, really hate or don't want to work with, it's not going to be a fruitful endeavor for you, and you are going to hate working. And that's not really what we're trying to build. Last bucket that we're going to talk about today is the one to many and the people who don't know you, people who actually, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to check and see if we've got any questions. Not seeing any. If you have questions, please raise a hand, submit them through the chat. Uh, don't see any right now, so I will go back to our presentation. Uh, Running paid ads, people who don't know you. Paying platforms to reach the people who don't know you yet. So did you know that 80% of online leads start their search on Google or Facebook, including YouTube with Google there? If you're not there, you're likely invisible. The beauty of paid ads is that you don't need a large budget to see results. You just need a clear message in front of the right audience at the right time. Use tactics I've mentioned a couple times like A/B testing and strong call to action. So let's explain what those two things are. A/B testing. That means there are two messages. Let's say you do YouTube ads. The content is fairly similar. The ask is similar, but there's one thing that's really different. Either it's one is targeted to luxury properties, one is targeted to condos only. Uh, Same call to action. You see that your condo ad that you ran the same time as the luxury ad gets 10 times the calls the other ad did. So that's your A to B test. There's only one variable different between the two. So you're testing which one of those is more appealing to your audience. You can also have multiple variables that are different. You can have completely different messages. Then it gets harder to tell which is working. So if you can make it one variable, that is obviously more costly because you're running more ads. So you want to think about your overall budget. And then CTA, call to action. At the end of any ad, the person who's watching, if they've made it to the end, they're obviously interested to some degree. There should be something for them to do next. It could be contact you, could be sign up for my newsletter. It could be schedule a call with me. It could be come to my open house. It doesn't matter. Uh, as long as you are asking them to do something and it's clear to them what they should be doing. The absolute worst thing that you can have, you've paid for your ad, they've watched your full ad, they get to the end, and then that's it. They're interested. This person seems really fantastic, knowledgeable. I don't know what else to do now, or there is nothing. They didn't ask me to do anything. So make sure the end ad, same with the Hilda. The last part is ask. You put a lead out there. They're interested in it. You delivered on what you said you were going to do. Now there's an ask. What should they do next? And that does not necessarily mean buy my thing or pay me money yet. It might be come to my X, or it might be sign up for my free resource. Start small, test two ad variations, and see what resonates. The data will tell you exactly where to double down. And small means different for different folks. It could be as little as $10, $20 a week. Some people might be comfortable with 500, 5,000 a week. Whatever you're comfortable with in your budget for ads. A/B test, put different tests out there. Don't put all of your ads into one bucket, content and/or one niche market. You want to have the ability to compare two things to see which one is giving you a better return. So what's one ad campaign idea you could launch this month? Whether it's targeting sellers or buyers, start small and scale. So take 10 minutes today or tomorrow, write this down and think about one ad you'd like to put out there. It does not need to be a video. It does not need to be anything like other ads you've seen. And if you don't have the budget for anything right now, what would it look like if you could? Start scripting that out and then repurpose it for your cold outreach, your warm outreach, and your content, because all of these things are working together. They should not be completely separate buckets where there's no interplay between them. So if you've got content that's working, can it be repurposed for ads? Same with ads. If there's ads that are working, is there a way to not pay for the audience that you can post it to your socials, or you can use it in your outreach? So actionable takeaways for the ads: allocate a monthly ad budget, and if it's zero, just draft what would be an ad and then repurpose it into three buckets. Start small, scale based on results, what's working, what you return, and A/B test. I want to stress that. Focus on clear calls to action. Let your audience know, hey, you've watched this whole thing. Um, Now you know what to do, or here's how to easily, frictionlessly work with me, or come to my next event, come to my open house, join my X. Make it crystal clear. The other examples here: book a free consultation, get your free value home report here. All right, so wrapping up. So here is how where all of the magic happens. Combining these four channels into a cohesive strategy to create a marketing machine that works together seamlessly. Let's say you're launching a new marketing push for a new listing that you want. Start with warm outreach. Call past clients, your inner circle, your sphere of influence, everyone on your phone, your email, people to follow you on socials. Everybody, one to one, private, warm. That's always step one. Always. It's free and it's warm. So that is where you must start. Create engaging posts because we're still in the warm bucket here. Now we're just reaching one to many. Again, free content for warm audiences. Then move up top. People who don't know you, cold outreach, but one to one. Send targeted direct mail or make cold calls to neighborhoods with high turnover. If you don't know how to find those in your area, I'm happy to help you do that. There are tools for this. There is insights. Experience could tell you that. Knowing your market, which is essential for being a successful real estate, will help you identify where those properties that are selling are. And then lastly, this should always be the fourth option. And it's not because it's the worst, it's because it's direct money coming out of your pocket. So you might be spending money on each of the other buckets. Warm outreach, I'm paying for my CRM. Posting content, I'm paying for Canva so I can make my images and videos look good. Cold outreach, I'm paying for mailers. Yes, there's a cost. But when you run paid ads, you can't run an ad without paying. There's a higher cost or higher barrier there for entry. So keep that in mind. That should be your fourth choice or your last piece of this strategy. And you want to launch paid ads to drive new leads into your funnel. How can they interplay with the other three buckets? So which of these four are you going to prioritize today? It's kind of a trick question. Warm outreach, obviously one. What is the second bucket that you're also going to prioritize? So pick two, commit to it, and then watch how the momentum will build from there. Each channel reinforces the other. They should not be done necessarily independently of each other. They're not silos. Create that momentum that will drive engagement, leads, and ultimately success. I think one of our upcoming webinars will be on great. People are calling me, but I'm doing a less than ideal job on converting them. So how do we convert warm leads? So wrapping up for today, I don't see any questions or hands. Again, I'll talk about Ken's class in our community. It's absolutely free. It's awesome. It's brief. He's got videos. He's got templates that you can use right away. Hilda, hook, introduction, lead, deliver. Ask any presentation you're doing, whether it's a talk, whether it's even a conversation at an open house. Think about how you can structure if you're talking to a buyer or seller, if you're at a listing presentation, any presentation doing, including your content, could be in this format. It's a great way to tell stories. So as we wrap up, remember, marketing doesn't have to be complicated. It's just it's it's something that we must do. It is no longer a nice to have. It is the difference between thriving and struggling in today's post NAR settlement market. Warm outreach, cold outreach, content, ads, master these, and you've mastered marketing. That's it. These are the four things to do for marketing. And why do we market? Because there's only three ways to increase revenue in real estate. I like them again. It's either sell more expensive properties. I either have my buyers and sellers be repeat or buy property, sell property more frequently, or I work with more buyers and sellers. That is it. That is the only way to make more money in sales. In real estate, those are the only ways. So how does marketing in these four different areas help you do those things? So what's one thing that you'll implement from today's talk? Again, a trick, sort of. It's warm outreach, reconnect with past clients, uh, test an ad. Small steps lead to big results. You should be doing action in all four of these, but your first step should always be in this bucket. Always start with one-to-one warm. Uh, Share with me or someone in your network to stay accountable. Say, this is what I'm committing to doing. Please make me be accountable and being transparent. Let me know make sure I'm doing the things that I say that I'm going to do. By mastering these core four, both warm and cold, you'll see that you're going to have more leads, more conversations, and that ideally should get you more comfortable and higher conversion rate and working with the people that you ideally want to work with. Consistency is key and knowing how to tailor your approach to each audience. Each of these buckets has a different audience, so keeping that in mind of who you are contacting, what they are hoping to learn from you, what they are expecting what is valuable to them, what problems they're facing, how you're the solution. You're the guy to get them to where they want to go. Think about that as you structure your messaging and possibly the Hilda format to get them to pick up the phone and call you when they're interested in buying or selling property. Or if it's referrals, how do they introduce your services and how do they do it in a way that sets it apart from any other real estate agent that they might already know or any stereotype they might have of real estate agents. So lean into all four of these this week. Start warm. Do not use your whole budget on one ad. Try a few different things. You're going to look back, no matter how good your ad is, in 6 months, 9 months, saying, "Oh my God, that's terrible. I'm so much better now." But it's taking that first step or taking that next step. So thank you for joining us today. If you're watching this live, I appreciate you joining us. If you're watching the replay, there will be in the notes below a handout that kind of goes over all of these things. Some of the highlights I've shared today on my screen, but we'll put some of the actionable next steps. Please, 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 if you want to tailor this specifically for your business, again, we did generic high-level examples, but if you work with certain clients, if you work with certain markets, I'm happy to go over these things with you. It really is a great opportunity as a sounding board to go over these things with someone like me who can ask you, well, have you thought about this? What what has worked before? Why would this work? Who are you targeting? Have you considered this? I love doing that, and my clients tell me that's the most fruitful thing is having that conversation up front, as opposed to after 10 weeks of running ads, like that targeted the wrong group. We probably could have saved X amount of dollars if we did it this way. So thank you so much for joining. Please check out all of the classes in the community classroom. There's really some great stuff in there. And look forward to next time. And don't hesitate to reach out if there is anything that I can assist with. Thank you all, and talk next time.